Here's a question every team building with AI eventually hits. Should you train your own model or just keep calling someone else's over an API? For the last couple of years, the answer was easy. Don't. Training is expensive. The frontier models are incredible. Just pay per call and move on. That answer was right, and it's quietly going out of date. So let's figure out, honestly, where the line actually is now. There are really only two paths. Path 1. Rent the frontier, call a giant, general model from a provider, and pay for every request. Path 2. Own a specialist. Take a smaller model, shape it to your exact task, and run it yourself. The whole question is when it's worth crossing from one to the other. Let me give you the answer up front, then spend the rest of the video proving it. Start on the API. Almost always. Only build a custom model when four things line up: high, steady volume, a narrow, repeatable task, a real way to measure quality, and pressure on cost, latency, or privacy. Miss those, and renting wins. It comes down to two kinds of cost. The API is pure pay-per-use, low to start, but you pay it on every single call, forever. A custom model flips that. You pay a chunk up front to build it, and then each call is far cheaper to run. One is rent, the other is a mortgage. Which means there's a break-even point. Picture two lines. Rent climbs steadily with every call. Owning starts high, then stays almost flat. Below a certain volume, renting is cheaper. You never make back the upfront cost. Above it, owning pulls ahead and keeps winning. The math is simple. Your fixed cost, divided by how much you save per call, tells you how many calls you need before custom pays off. Low volume, and the API wins on arithmetic alone. But cheaper per call hides the real work. The hard part of a custom model isn't the training. Tools handle that now. It's building an honest way to measure whether your model is actually better, and having enough real traffic to learn from. That loop, capture your usage, measure it, improve a model from it, is exactly what the startup I covered last time, Carrot Labs, is turning into a product. Hold that thought. It matters later. Now the cost, nobody puts in the spreadsheet, the upgrade tax. Every time a new model comes out, it behaves differently, usually better. But your carefully tuned prompts shift, your outputs change, and you have to retest everything. And here's the funny part. The newer models are smarter, which sometimes means they push back. They second-guess your instructions or correct you when you didn't ask. Better, but not a drop-in swap. So both paths pay an upkeep cost. On the API, every upgrade is a retuning job, and pricing can move on you. Top-tier frontier prices have stopped falling the way they used to, even as the cheapest models keep getting cheaper. On the custom side, your model is a snapshot. The frontier keeps improving, so your specialist slowly goes stale, and eventually you retrain. Neither path is set and forget. So why did everyone say just use the API for so long? Because a couple of years ago, it was simply the better deal. Frontier models were improving so fast, and were cheap enough, that almost any model you train got beaten by next month's general one. Why build a specialist that's obsolete in weeks? But that convenience had a hidden cost, and it's strategic, not technical. If you and every competitor call the same frontier model, you all have the exact same brain. Your product's intelligence is rented, identical, and replaceable. There's no moat in a model anyone can rent by the token. Here's what changed, and why the calculation is shifting. Four things came together. Open-weight models got genuinely good. Lightweight fine-tuning made shaping them cheap. A training run can cost a few $100s instead of a fortune. Distillation lets a big model teach a small one to copy it on your task. And managed services now wrap that whole pipeline, so you don't need a research team to do it. The barrier to owning a model didn't just drop, it collapsed. And then something surprising happened, something that tells you exactly where the industry thinks this is going. OpenAI shut down its own self-serve fine-tuning. Their stated reason: the newest base models follow instructions so well that plain prompting is now cheaper and faster, so fewer people need to fine-tune it all. Read that twice. The Frontier Labs want you renting their biggest model, while the real do-it-yourself path has quietly moved to open-weight models you tune and distill yourself. Owning, increasingly, means open weights. So let's make it concrete. 4 real situations. And for each one, custom or API. Situation 1. You're prototyping or your traffic is low and spiky. Verdict, API. Every time. You don't have the volume to repay a custom build, and you'd be optimizing something that might not survive the month. Rent. Situation 2. One narrow repetitive task running at huge volume, classifying tickets, extracting fields, routing messages, millions of times a month. Verdict, custom. A small model tuned to that one job can match the big one's quality on your slice, while costing a fraction per call and running far faster. At that scale, the break-even math flips hard. Situation 3. Open-ended, novel reasoning. The kind of hard, varied problem where every request is different. Verdict, API. This is exactly what frontier models are best at, and a narrow specialist will let you down. Don't fine-tune your way out of needing real intelligence. Situation 4. You need answers in milliseconds, or your data legally cannot leave your servers. Healthcare, finance, defense. Verdict, custom, self-hosted. A small local model gives you near-instant responses and keeps sensitive data in-house. Here it's not even about cost, it's about latency and control. Step back, and the rule writes itself. Build a custom model when volume is high and steady, the task is narrow, you can measure quality honestly, and cost, latency or privacy is forcing your hand. Stay on the API when volume is low or unpredictable. The work is broad and open-ended, your needs keep changing, or you have no real way to measure quality. And the smart move is to escalate, not jump. Start with a better prompt, then add retrieval, then fine-tune, then distill. Each step only when the one before it runs out of room. So the honest verdict on the question we started with: is a custom model easier than it used to be? Massively. Is it cheaper? Only past your break-even, and only if you count the measurement work and the upkeep, not just the per-call price. For almost everyone, the right move is this. Start by renting the frontier and graduate to owning a specialist exactly when the numbers in your moat start to demand it. The frozen, one-model-fits-all era is ending. The interesting question isn't custom versus API, it's knowing which of your tasks has quietly crossed the line. So tell me, what's the one task in your stack you'd put a custom specialist on first? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.